Hey guys, Dinkage back here, and we got a little surprise for you. We're gonna make our settings video. Now this is for console, and as you can see, I just got a default PS4 controller, no back buttons and nothing, so this is available for everyone. But I do have these little control freaks. If you don't know what they are, they're basically thumbstick extensions. You just clip them on and that's it, and they're really cheap. I got these two for I think like $15–20 like 7 years ago, and they're still working, so they're not like a modern controller or something that you need a lot of money. So anyways, let's get started here. Default controller, so no excuses. So first, we got all these options. Since we're using the default controller, it has to be tactical flip. No buts. Unless you play claw, but if you play claw, you're gonna destroy your fingers and stuff. The reason you play tactical is so you can slide cancel, because you slide way more than you melee, and just it's a lot easier just to spam the slide cancel. And also I play flipped. This is, I don't know why not everyone uses this, because these down here, if you notice, you have to press a long way for it to activate, and it's just easier if you press these top ones. It's just faster, like that's the way. Now the stick layout, just leave it default. There's no need. Vertical. Some people like airplanes, and that's it. But if you want airplanes, put it on. If not, not. Not the dead zone. This is different for every controller. If your controller's newer, you're probably gonna have 0, maybe 1 or 2, and it's different for every person. My controller's a bit older, so that's why I have 6 and 10. This is just how much you need to move it for it to activate. If you notice that your camera's moving by itself, or you're moving forward without even touching it, that means you have stick drift. What you do to help it, you just raise your dead zone. That's it. No need to get a new controller. Although if it is getting really high, you do need to change it, because you're just messing up your controls at that point. Then the max input, just leave it at 99. This is the opposite of stick drift. It's how far you need to place it on the edge to get it to fully activate. Just leave this at 99. There's no need to change this. Now here's the most important part. This is the sensitivity. I use the 6.7. This is just so I have a lot of speed when I'm looking around, hipfire, non-ADS. But then I have the sensitivity at 85. I do this so I have a bit more control when I'm aiming, so I can control my recoil and all that. You could try to mess around, but point is, have your sensitivity high, or at least somewhat high for whatever you are, but have the ADS low, so that way you can move fast, look everywhere, but once you're aiming, that's when you're slow, that's when you got that pinpoint precision. This sensitivity for zoom, you could turn it on, but it's a lot of work. Each zoom has different sensitivities, and there's sights that have double zoom, like the 3x6, and every slate reflector sight, it has 2 sights, so if you want to, you can change it, but it's a lot of work and a lot of practice. So I'd rather just keep it at a high sensitivity than 85 for the multiplier. Now the aim response curve. I have mine on dynamic. Wait, let me change this off. I'm on dynamic because it's just better. It means you can look around faster, but once you're aiming, you can make those fine controls. Linear, I used to rock linear, but that only works when you have a brand new controller, because any input gets directly placed in. And standard, if you're a new player, I do recommend standard, because that's how every game starts you off with. There's no options to change it when you just start. But now that you're getting better, just change it to dynamic. You might take like 1 or 2 games to get better, or just too accustomed to it, but it's worth it. Controller vibration, I just have this disabled so it saves my battery life. It could also mess up your aim if a grenade gets really close to you and it blows up. The rumble can change stuff, but this is your choice. Now for aim assist, all these 3 do different things, but they do affect your aim assist bubble. The precision and focusing, it's just a lot of ifs. Like, your enemy has to be close or they have to be far. You have to be non-ADS or ADS. Just use standard, it's the best. It's what everyone's most comfortable with. Just leave it there. Now for mounting, this is default, because you're never gonna aim and ADS at the same time. You're never gonna aim and melee at the same time, so just leave it this. Obviously you want this so you can move. You want this hold, everything's fine. Oh, change this to toggle. This is when you're holding the sniper breath. If you're holding it, your hands get shaky and you move a lot. If you set a toggle, you just press it and forget about it. Now you hold for your grenades. Then this is really important, especially when you first start out. Change this to contextual tap. This means if you're over a weapon, all you have to do is tap square to pick it up. That's it. And if, let's say you want to reload, you hold it. If it was on tap to reload, you'd have to hold square on everything. Opening doors, opening crates, everything. And it just takes more time, especially when you first land. That's when it's most important. You just grab the weapon and you just blast anyone that's near you. Depleted ammo switch. This is when you run completely out of ammo, not your magazine. When you're completely out, the gun automatically switches. I have this off because it just confuses you. When you're out of ammo and you know it, you yourself switch. But if it switches for you, you like double switch and get your empty gun out, and that just kills you a lot. Just leave it disabled, and you know when you're out of ammo. And here for armor plate, just set it to set all, because you never just set one plate in. No, you always put all three at the same time. And if you do cancel, you just YY or triangle and get back to the gunfight. Slide effort. Put this to tap. It's so much easier to slide cancel to slide if you hold it to tap. If you hold, you get nervous, you move your camera, it just messes you up. The easiest thing is just to put it on tap. Auto move forward. It is useful if you're landing, because they recently nerfed the side glide. If you want, put it, but I found it's kind of hard to activate because you have to like double tap forward really fast, and it's just weird. Now obviously have automatic tac sprint. This means you don't have to press your controller every time you want to tac sprint. It will take a few games to get used to. When you first put it on, you're gonna notice that you lose a lot of gunfights because you wanna walk instead of run. That puts your gun up. You'll get used to it. The only time I'd recommend you don't put it on is you're gonna use a semi-auto shotgun, because if you have tac sprint, it turns out like a pump. Like you shoot, then you run, shoot, run, shoot, run, and you die a lot of times because of that. This is vehicle camera recenter. Just leave it on. And here's another thing: do not auto-deploy your shoot. If you do that, you're just wasting time. It'd be a lot easier if you just pull it yourself once you get near the ground. This way you can get to the ground faster, grab your guns, and you kill anyone who's slower than you, who's still gliding in. Just get used to it. Just make sure you don't break your feet, because they're all gonna laugh at you. Now for graphics. The safe area, this is whatever you want. If you want the minimap a bit closer to the center, you put it as low as possible. If you don't, just keep it as wide as you want. Camera movement. This, just set it, I wish it was at 0 honestly, because every time you move, your guy twists, and it makes like your screen weird. Just put it at 50, that way you don't shake. World motion blur, I don't even know why this is an option. This means like whenever you move really fast, everything blurs around you. It is more realistic, but you lose enemies, you lose information if you're doing that, and really it just makes your game look bad. I don't know why it's not. I don't even know why you'd want to turn it on. Same for your gun. As you can see, it just makes your gun look all blurry. Film grain, it just adds noise to your screen for some reason. Just turn that all the way down. Dismemberment and gore effects. This is for those guns that, mainly I think it's shotguns. If you shoot them like in the legs, they can just pop off and leave. We all like to see that, let's be honest here. For brightness, here's a tip. Set your in-game brightness lower, like very low, compared to your screen. It's better to increase your screen brightness, because the in-game brightness, all it's gonna do is blow out your image, and it's gonna look so white, like everything. Your dark's gonna appear washed out, oversaturated. So that's a pro tip. Make sure that the brightness is actually set on your monitor or your TV instead of in-game. Now on-demand texture streaming, it would be nice. I'd like to say high quality, but like every update, it just glitches the game. You have packet loss, a lot of stuff happens. And until they fix it, just leave it disabled. So you don't get packet loss, any dropped frames, a lot of stuff like that. If your interface. I use subtitles because sometimes if an enemy places a trophy system, like their enemy character will scream out, "Placing trophy system." And sometimes, you know, you're talking to your friends, you're shooting, you won't hear that. With subtitles, it's going to tell you on the screen, so you know someone's like very close to you. I'm English. Then colorblind, you could put this, but it makes the colors weird, and just don't. Unless you are colorblind, I recommend leaving this disabled. Tooltips, I haven't even noticed if they're on or off. Minimap. Make sure it's square. You simply just get more space. That simple. A bigger minimap is better. Now here it's a lot of opinion based. I like on my minimap to north always be north. That's how I like it. If you put it enabled, that means you're always going to be facing up. Like the map's going to move around you. I prefer my little character, the triangle, to move. Like if he's pointing down, that means he's south. If you can't understand south in that, just put it enabled so you're always facing forward so you can see the gunshots better. The compass, show it, because if you don't know north and stuff on the map, just look at your compass. Easy as that. Letters also, because not a lot of people know that like 90 is right, 180 down, and 270 left. Just put it letters, that way they're easier. Kill feed direction, this doesn't matter. If you're new to the game, turn this on because it'll tell you how to reverse, land, eject yourself, but it's like 5 buttons. So take that off. It also takes a lot of space on your screen. Text chat, because every once in a while some guy texts you. Turn this off because it's funny, you know, when they get pissed at you. And these two don't matter. I like to put the game alert, that way I know if I die and I see one of those little things, I know it wasn't my fault. I know it was a packet burst, that I'm lagging something. This will show you. It'll show a little thing on the left of your screen. If it's red, that means it's really bad. If it's orange, it's kinda bad. And if it's yellow, it's light. But you know, if this pops up, that means something's wrong with your internet. So make sure that doesn't happen. Now audio. The most important thing in this game to hear are footsteps. The two options are boost low and boost high. Boost high is way better for footsteps, just put boost high. I leave master volume at 70 because I can change it on my headset. I can change it through the PlayStation or your Xbox. You can leave it at 100, but I prefer 70 so I have more control over my own headset. If I'm using an amp or a DAC, you can also change it to there. Now for music, if you want to be the most competitive, just turn this all the way off. It's only going to distract you. But I also like to hear it in the pregame lobby or when it's getting intense. You really like that music. For dialogue, this is what I said before about how enemy characters, when they play something, they say trophy system out, recon drone, anything that they say, this is that. It's also your own character, but you don't really care about him. Now effects, leave this up because that's gunshots, footsteps, explosions, everything. Cars, everything. Cinematics, this is only for campaign, so it doesn't matter. Now for jug music, turn it on. You feel so nice when you get in that juggernaut and you hear that rock music. Although, like I said, if you're the most competitive, turn this off because it is really loud when you're in the jug suit. The hit marker, just leave it classic. We all love that sound you get. Mono audio, make sure this is off. This makes it, if you turn this on, you won't have directional sound. If you turn this off, you will have. So you know forward, right, left, anything behind you. This is voice chat, obviously you want it on. The first option on voice chat is how loud you need to speak for the game to pick it up. So if you have a lot of background noise, if your mom's cooking and your brother is rapping back there, your dog's barking, turn this up. Don't turn it too much up because then you'll have to scream for it to pick it up. But also never put it at 0 because if it's at 0, like even if you stroke your beard, anything, they're gonna pick it up. So if you do want to put it to 0, just leave it at 0.16. So just in case any like mic compression, just leave it at 0.16. Or if you have a really noisy environment, put it up. The second volume is how much you can hear your friends and your enemies when the voice chat, the kill cam thing. It really just depends on how good of a mic they have, how loud it is. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better. I leave it at 300 because the guy that I play with most, his mic's a bit low, and that's it. Now mic volume, this is my own volume. He always says my voice is low, so I turn this up. This you adjust, and according to who you play with, your friends, whoever you play with most, just to ask them if your voice is fine. If it is, leave it there. If it's too loud, you turn it down. And if you're too quiet, you turn it up. For the effect, leave this off. All this will do, it'll make your voice staticky. It'll put this really bad filter on you. You might think, oh, but it sounds cool, like stealth ops and that. No. It really just kills the quality of your voice for no reason. 4 tracks, this is the music when you get in a plane, in a truck, anything. I like turning it on just to have some tunes. But I will agree, if this is set at 100, it drowns out every noise. So I leave it at 50, or sometimes I lower it if it's really loud for some reason. And yeah, this is it. The best settings for a console. Anything else? Just put it in the comments below and I'll read it. Till next time.